y'all have been honest and fair so far, so I'm gonna let y'all handle it. So whatever you can do to get it off as soon as possible would be much appreciated.
Yeah, we're going to get this off in the matter of any day now. We're coming close is what we're aiming to. Another thing is that when you pay off a collection, it's not going to be removed off your credit report. The statute of limitations will reset from the last date of activity, especially when you pay the collection agency, you actually verify that that account is yours in the sense, and that would hurt your score. However, if in this situation, if you did pay them, and we would have to dispute it because they wouldn't remove it automatically, but if you did pay them, they would most likely not rebuttal our dispute. So there would be no resistance, and they would just stop reporting it on your credit report. So for the sake of time, this might be something good to do. However, I do have something up my sleeve that can get this thing off. So we'll play it by ear in the next 1 to 3 days, because that's when we're anticipating this thing to come off. I had some questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so in any point in time in the experience working with me, was I cordial? Was I responsive? Did you ever have to bug me to get a hold of me?
No, not really. I mean, I've texted you sometimes during the day, and I didn't get a response, but the next morning, early in the morning, like right now, like we're talking now, you've always responded that morning, which I'm pretty sure you're busy. So, and I kind of figured that, and I started to understand, by texting during the day and he don't respond, he'll respond in the morning, and you always do. So, no, not really. You may not respond back right then and there when I text you, but always the morning after.
Yeah, within a 24-hour period. So the reason for that is I have a caseload, and it's all prioritized on a first come, first serve, and also a premium fee basis. There are customers that want the extra attention, so I would fit them in hours that are outside of my regular working hours. And so we like to have a standard to where we at least give you the information that you are looking for within the 24-hour period. And we're looking to actually increase that speed, because I recently hired a good team, and we brought back my manager, which was actually a previous partner of the company. So now he is helping manage and doing the customer service on my behalf, so I can focus on other things. But you did hire me personally, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Did I ever harass you or nag you for upfront fees without doing any work for you?
No.
Okay, great. All right, that's awesome. Yeah, and was this a slow process? Did we have you send out things in the mail? Did I have to mail anything out to any creditors? Was it, did...
No, I didn't do nothing. I just paid the fee you asked me, and you took care of everything. I didn't do nothing.
Exactly. So we want...
I held up my end, you held up yours.
Great, that's good to hear. So essentially what we want to do is make this whole credit repair process seamless and headache-free. That way you have your peace of mind, versus not having clarity and certainty as far as what's going on in this situation. So whether it be good or ugly, we have fully addressed whether or not it would be a complicated situation to remove this or a simple one, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And did we provide you any results, or did you just call and we gave you some excuse and say, tomorrow I'll do it?
No, when we started this process, I had two collections, a charge-off for Marine One, which was at $35,000, and which it's a long process. So I didn't feel I had to pay a credit report, and I think 3 hard inquiries, then y'all got off the charge off on all three credit bureaus. Got off 3 hard injuries on my Equifax report, and 1 collection was on IC Systems, was on TransUnion. You got that off, and the portfolio, it came off on Equifax probably 2 months ago, but it still remained on TransUnion and Experian, and that is the only one that is left. So you got all that off besides that one, and it's just on. It came off on Equifax, but it did not come off on TransUnion and Experian.
Yeah, just 2 remaining. So they're giving us a little bit of a hard time. And I believe your FICO score is in the 800s now, correct?
I got 1 FICO, my Equifax, which is the one that doesn't have any collections. It's at 814. My TransUnion has 1 collection left, and it's at 727. And my Experian has the 1 collection, and it was at 722, but it just went down to 707 because of a mistake I made.
Got it.
Trade line that I remember a while back I had told you that my uncle was going to add me on some really good old experienced credit cards with good payment history, and he did. He added me on 4, and my score went up. But on one of them was a brand new card that he just opened, and when he added me on it, I told him I didn't want that one because of the credit history. It was brand new, and when he added me, my credit history on my file, on my credit report, went down. So my score went down just a little bit when I was an authorized user. So I called American Express, which is who the card was from, and told them I didn't want to be an authorized user on it anymore. You know, I didn't want that card on there. Well, I thought that it was going to help my score if I got it off. Told them I didn't want to be an authorized user on that card because it's so few. Well, when it came off just a couple of days ago, it dropped my score 15 points.
Yeah. Well,
you understand? Well, I thought it would have helped it, but it didn't. It actually hurt it.
Let me explain how this works. Okay. I understand why the score dropped 15 points because you had recently added an account, and so that
had a $20,000 limit on it.
But it was a brand new account, and so when that happens,
brand new account, yeah,
it actually affects your credit length average, your credit length history. So where authorized users become useful is for one thing only. They're used to boost up your FICO score as somewhat of a buffer, and I would say a buffer is an appropriate term because these are not legitimately accounts that belong to you. However, they will impact your FICO score if you do it properly. The proper authorized users to get are authorized users that have large years of history, large credit length histories, large payment histories. So typically you want to aim for a authorized user that has 8 to 12 years of perfect on-time payment history, and within that 8 to 12 year history, the utilization or the highest balance reported on that card is, you know, at the least below 35%. That is like that's like the highest you can go, but ideally the best is below 9%, or relatively within recent times it is below 9% would be really ideal, because that would also impact another factor of your FICO score and other versions of FICO, which is called your amounts owed credit, i.e. the credit to debt ratio in comparison to the debt and the balance you have and the available credit that you have. That is how you impact two Pinnacle factors on your credit, and you typically you made the mistake of doing that. You learned the hard way. But the good news is that you shouldn't be freaked out about it, because now you know that you need to get authorized users that are 8 to 12 years of credit length, and you should get at least 3 of them, or a 3 is a good, and it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Yeah.
I got 3 right now that he added me on 4, and 3 of them were 10 years or over with awesome payment history. And the 4th one, he asked me, he said, I just got a new American Express. Do you want me to add you on it? And I said, no. I said, because I need something with payment history, years of payment history. He said, okay. And then I don't know what happened, but anyway, he added me on that one, which was a brand new one. And when I seen that, I called the American Express, who it was through, and they had a $20,000 limit on it. And it told them that I did not want to be an authorized user on that card. But when it came off, thinking that my score would go up, it didn't. It went down.
Because your amounts owed was impacted a little bit.
Well, my amounts owed is 0. There's 0 balances on all those cards.
Oh, he should have at least 9%. Not a 0 balance.
You mean leave some on it?
Yeah, he should put some balance on it. He needs to 9% at all times. It's worth it, because what's going to happen is that he is going to be in a low risk category. A low risk, no risk is worse than low risk, because no risk is like you're not doing anything. There's always going to be risk involved in credit, and when these creditors, yeah. He wants to put some balance.
The cards, and I use my cards too, but I pay them off every month.
Yeah, you want to keep some balance on them, at least 9%.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't just want to pay it off at a 0 balance if you want to scale your credit. So I would at least keep a 9% usage on your credit cards. That's the formula that everybody knows about.
Yeah, I always thought you wanted to use them, which I do use them. I use mine all the time, but I pay them off. Every month I pay it off with it, and it's a 0 balance.
Yeah, and if you do that, you want to, so you have to be careful, because if a creditor looks at your report and sees that there's 0 balance, you're not really using it. They don't know how to process that as far as how you make payments or how you use it. And then there's another risk where if you actually use the card and pay it off, probably I'm willing to bet that you're maxing it out, correct?
No.
Oh, okay. So when you use it, how much of it are you using?
Oh, shit. I maybe put $200 a month on it, $300 a month on it.
What's the credit limit?
3,000 on mine, 3,000.
Good. Okay, that's under 30%.
Yeah, and then I paid all a 0 balance.
Okay, that's okay.
It shows 0.
Yeah, what you're doing there is okay. It's not a bad idea. So yeah, that's another thing, is that you don't. Ideally, you want to have a 9% usage, but you can use it above 30%, 35%, maybe even max it out. But you just want to pay it before the due date, a week before the due date.
Absolutely.
That way, it heightens the chances of the creditor not reporting that high balance, but typically you don't want to go above 35%. That will be the threshold. So you're doing it actually pretty good. You can actually grow your credit that way. And you could do a mix of both, whereas, 6 months out of the year, just give you an idea, you could use 35% or 30% of the credit and then pay it off, keep it 0 balance, and then the next 6 months you can just keep it at 9%. That way creditors will understand that you're being very responsible, and you're not being desperate, you're using it responsibly, and they're going to categorize you as a low risk client, and they would actually extend you to have credit, and there's ways that you can negotiate with these risk assess departments. Each financial institution has them, and we have actually contacts with managers for most of the banks nationwide, most of the credit unions nationwide, and we can get them on a phone call. I have their extensions, and if you meet the criteria, especially their bonuses, you may be able to get probably get a credit limit increase as long as you reach their underwriting criteria. And that's a great feature that we could help you with, and that's kind of like what you want to do. Yeah, so, and when the creditors know that you're not going above a certain percentage, the longer you do that, you become more predictable, and they have more trust and credit within you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure your family member, your brother, right?
No, my uncle.
Your uncle, sorry, I heard wrong. Yeah, I'm sure your uncle knows, because he has tens of thousands in.
He's got $400,000 in credit limit. You know, he's got that much in credit cards and all that. Now he's pretty sharp with all that. You know.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
He's got a 8-something credit score. And that's why I went to him for it. You know, and he's helping me out. But
Good deal.
I made the mistake and took that one off, and then it dropped my score 15 points, you know. But that's my fault for doing that. I'm learning, you know. But the reason, go ahead.
Would you call to get it back on, or you're not going to mess with that?
Well, I thought about calling to get it back on, but then he would have to do that, right? Not me.
Yeah, he would have to pass.
I didn't even tell him that I canceled it.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't even tell him that I took it off. You know, so I guess I'm just not gonna worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Maybe just not fiddle around with it.
Yeah. What prompted this call was yesterday, I think it was yesterday. I texted you about a trade line, asked if you had any trade lines that would help boost my score, you know, before the end of the month or whatever, you know, before I go to make that big purchase. And you said yes, you did. You asked to be a phone call. So do you have, what do you have? I mean, can you help me out with that? Or what do you have, trade lines?
Yes, I do have a trade line, and it is with the company. It's a 5K limit. It will be a brand new account, and they would offer you a 5K credit limit. It's with a company called NCD Financial, and I can give you that information here.
Oh, it wouldn't even help my score though. It'd be brand new.
Yeah. How many personal credit cards do you have now?
Me personally, I have two.
Two. What banks again?
Capital One.
Oh, subprime. Yeah, that's a subprime credit card, bro. You got to get out of there. So you have the authorized users there. How old are those Capital Ones?
My personal ones?
Yes.
6 months.
Oh, yeah, brand new babies. Okay, well, I would get a new one. I would get this one. It's still good. Yeah, this one will still be a good one. So you're just starting out, man. So whatever you get is going to be brand new. There's no other way to help you out or really change that part. So it's just a matter of time. But one thing that you could do is...
I don't think getting a new credit card right now would be a good idea.
Yeah, not now because you're still in the dispute process. But if you want to scale your credit and grow it like your brothers, then you're going to have to apply. But not now. You're not ready. You need to meet the criteria. And another thing is that you have to build your way up to get the best credit cards like Chase and American Express. you can't just assume that, hey, I have an 800 FICO score and, you know, no negative or derogatories, that I'll get approved. You're not, because they have criteria. You'll want to refinance that auto loan later, which would ultimately increase your FICO score as well.
It's a camper. It's
a camper. Camper. Got it.
And it's a $156,000 loan.
Yeah, it's a house on wheels.
Yeah, I already own a house. I already own a truck.
Yeah.
Well, I've had three trucks here, but an $80,000 truck I have on my right now, and my wife's got a $70,000 SUV. Yeah, I'm not new to this credit thing, and I mean, I belong to a credit union who I normally get all my loans to, and I don't never have a problem getting anything. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do this credit repair thing, you know, for this loan coming up, because I don't want any collections or anything on it. It's the reason.
Yeah, you don't want any, you know. This. Yeah, exactly.
No derogatory stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, well, as I said before, we have something in the works. We're aiming to get this thing removed, possibly 24 hours, in 24 to 48 hours from this conversation, and we'll play it by ear till then. And if worst case scenario, we will do what we discussed earlier, and then see how that works. But yeah, rest assured, we're going to handle this.
Okay, I'll keep in touch and let you know how it goes with this, you know, in a couple of days. Let's see if it's still on there or not.
Yep, as will I. Okay, you have a great day, and it was a pleasure speaking with you, Jason.
All right, thanks.
Bye.